welcome to Love Island, the morning after, the only official podcast where we catch up on all the gossip from the night before.
I'm Amy Hart, this is Indiyah Polack, and all week we have broadcaster Nadia J with us, and tonight we have the wonderful but dumped Islander Munveer Jabbal with us.
Dumped. Yeah.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry I had to say it. We've got so much to get through tonight. It was a juicy episode, but before we get into all of that, Munveer, how are you?
Good. Obviously, really nice to be here with you guys. A little bit too soon, in my opinion. I felt like I was actually getting into my mojo. Then all of a sudden, dumped. So,
Darling.
yeah.
And obviously the new bombshells came in, Grace and Tiffany. Are they your type? Would you have gone for one of them?
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely a bit of me. Out of all the girls in there, Tiffany and Grace are more my type.
Yeah.
It's just a shame they turned up as I left. So good timing.
Like ships passing in the night. Obviously, you did get some lovely friendships when you were in the villa. Who will you stay in touch with?
Definitely Kieran. I think Kieran's a big friendly giant. He's just great. Just genuine. Do you know what I mean? Even though he's 21 years old, he might come across immature through the age, but honestly carries himself so well. I went to him every time for advice. So on the boys' side, Kieran. With the girls, I would say Nicole.
Yeah.
So, Nicole's really sweet. And together, I think they're perfect.
Do you stand them?
Love that. The Welsh
I
team.
don't need subtitles with them, but they're wicked.
So you were actually very good friends with Io as well, weren't you?
Yes.
So were you team Io and Mimi or team Io and Uma?
Io and Mimi, for sure.
Yeah.
I was obviously coupled up with Mimi from the start, so I know what that girl's about. She's classy, she's elegant, and Ayo is really cool, calm, collected. And together, it just works really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Uma's beautiful, and that would work well. But knowing the girl like I do, she's perfect for Ayo, because he's loud and, it's like a yin and yang kind of, so it works really well. Compatibility there is spot on, I would say.
Yeah.
Sounds cute.
Okay, another couple that we need your insight on, Nicole and Kieran. So the other night in beer pong, Kieran had to kiss someone. He kissed Jess. It was easy. It was like a little peck, right? Then he said to Omar that he copped out and that he should have kissed Grace. And there's a bit of Chinese whispers in the villa. It got back to Kieran that he needed to tell Nicole before someone else did. He told Nicole. It's all kicked off. What are our views?
Do you know what? First of all, I just want to give it up to Mimi. She handled that really well. She was a Chinese whispery and she went over to Kieran and was like, look, hun, this is going to pop off if you don't tell Nicole.
Yeah.
Just tell her. And then you're handling the situation so it doesn't spiral out of control, which it kind of did anyway. Yeah. But I won't lie though, I don't think that Omar needed to say anything.
No.
I was a bit like, why are we talking about this with Mimi and Io? Like, I don't know, but also I'm not in the villa. What else is there to talk about?
I'll say long days.
Yeah, there's
long days. Do you know what I mean?
Not much to talk about in
Exactly.
there. Like, things get around.
So I did feel like it might have been a bit over the top. However, I was shocked that he said Grace.
Would you have thought he'd gone for Tiffany instead?
I just didn't expect him to say anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I was like, Kieran, shh.
I feel like it's a situation where even though, he did tell Omar, it is something he could have kept to himself because at the end of the day, you didn't kiss Grace.
Yeah.
So there's no point talking about it. But I do feel like in the villa, you kind of just need to tell everyone everything because it's just better out than in. If that's like a real life situation, I feel like you just don't speak about it.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you who I would have picked in the challenge. You saw who I picked. It is what it is. I just feel like it was all blown out of proportion.
It was, but I feel like I would have been quite upset.
Really?
Yeah, I think I was back in the day quite insecure. And I think when you're so invested in one person, like they've got the strongest connection out of everyone. Like they've got that sort of fairy tale thing. So for that to slightly slip, you're tired, it's a pressure cooker, I would have been upset.
You would have.
I'd have been crying on telly again.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I feel like it's just a passing comment. Can't make a mountain out of a molehill sort of thing, And again, Kieran, knowing the guy like I do, I know he meant nothing by it. There was no spite behind it. It's just talking to Omar as a boy, So yeah, it's really hard to muster up conversation. And so sometimes something's like in your mind, you're like, who do I speak to? I just want to get it out. And that's it. It's harmless. And then obviously in a confined environment, it's just fueled and Chinese whispers start spinning and next thing you know, you're in the doghouse.
Do you know, I would have given Kieran a blight and been like, okay, maybe he said it after the fact, but it was during the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, boys, everyone can hear you. Like, you're right here.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, why is he surprised that Nicole could have overheard?
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, Kieran, this was going to get out. Like, it was very obvious. You weren't sat at the daybed chatting with Omar separately. You were literally in the middle of playing the game.
As soon as you did it.
As soon as you did it, you played the safe card and you turned around when Nicole was kissing Will.
Yeah.
And Nicole did say he kind of made her feel a bit bad. Like, oh, no, I'm not looking at that. And then straight away was like, I'd kiss Grace.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like, you should have just kissed Grace. I didn't really understand why he copped out to then go and be like, oh, I was going to kiss Grace.
Yeah.
Just kiss her. At the end of the day, Nicole kissed Will. It was a game.
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously Kieran's okay with it, but even like from Nicole's side, I don't really feel like it's enough for her to be upset about because it's kind of like, well, you kiss Will.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you know.
But she was the kissee, not the kisser, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she still
It was forced upon her.
It wasn't like the way Kieran kissed Jess. It was he just pecked her. Whereas she actually accepted the snog from Will.
She could have
So
swerved.
it's just sort of like,
It's a game.
I think from both sides. Number one, Kieran, do you think he was trying to be a bit of a martyr? Being like, I copped out, but I could have picked Grace, but
Agreed.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm a great guy. And from Nicole's point of view, do you think because Grace looks so different to her, it then puts a thing in your head of, oh, actually, like if he fancies Grace, does he fancy me because I look so different?
it's a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I feel
It's
like
a multifaceted issue.
It is very
but I feel
layered.
like when you're in the villa, you really have to keep your head on your shoulders and you can't take everything at face value. Like, you just can't take too much too seriously because it's not that deep. It's not as
Do you know
deep
what
as
though?
you
I'm
think
kind
it
of
is.
leaning on Amy's side a little bit because if I was with a guy, a bombshell's just walked in, you've not had no conversation with her whatsoever.
all of a
Me and you were
sudden-
going fine.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're telling me, oh yeah, I said I would have kissed her. I'm sorry, what?
And why are you scared to kiss her?
It was a little bit disrespectful, tiny bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I
I
would have
think he's
been.
trying to take more high ground by
Yeah.
mentioning that. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You make a good point on it.
Trying to get some brownie
Maybe
points.
in high-
And
that's
actually,
it.
it's
By the way,
completely
I
backfired
I
on
could have
him.
done that, but I didn't, so I'm a great guy.
In week one, things really heated up in the villa. Let's look back at all the pre-love fashion moments brought to you by our headline sponsor, eBay. Joey Essex made a grand entrance, stealing kisses and hearts from 3 of the girls while wearing a stylish Police cos jacket. Mimi looked stunning in her House of CB dress and fell head over heels for Io in his Harley-Davidson sleeveless tee, whilst Jess stunned in I Am Gia and a Juna Watanabe Commes de Garçon. And how can we not mention the iconic red party? All the Islanders looked incredible in their pre-love fits, with Patsy rocking a red latex dress worn by Georgia Steele in All Stars and Ronnie sporting a red Represent varsity jacket. The Islanders are definitely bringing the red hot heat. Check out eBay for villa-inspired fashion and celebrate a summer of pre-loved style. Fashion fit for a second chance. eBay, sponsors of Love Island. Moving on to people who are not trying to get brownie points, Joey and Grace. They were a sleepover.
Yeah.
That was,
Not a lot of sleep.
It was
lot
a
of
big
sleeping.
watch.
It was a lot to digest.
Yeah.
I don't know where we even start with this. So, do we think they are off scot-free? Do we think Joey could have behaved better towards Samantha? Tell me your views.
Roll it all the way back. He should have spoke to her before he went over.
Yes.
That conversation didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? You got to face that and say, look, I'm going away. Don't worry. I'm going to be respectful.
Yeah.
Obviously, he probably would lie for his teeth. Do you know what I'm saying? But you need to have that conversation just to reassure her because her head's spinning.
Yeah.
When they, like, what was it, one night?
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't have slept.
Do you know what was interesting? I feel like the night before when she stayed outside in the daybed, I thought she was being a bit dramatic.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that. I was like, oh, Sam, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But in that moment, Joey had the ample opportunity to say to Samantha, look, I've got you. I'll stay out here with you.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
reassure you that it's level playing field, right?
Yeah.
He didn't. Cool.
Yeah.
So Joey goes to the sleepover with Grace. They obviously get closer.
Yeah.
Then when he comes back, this is where it goes pear-shaped for me because Joey, you had ample opportunity to speak to Samantha.
Yeah.
Like you said, he didn't speak to her before they went to the sleepover. That also wasn't nice. Like
Yeah.
everyone else was saying bye in their couple. I was saying this to you guys earlier. I say bye on the bus to the bus driver and I don't
Yeah.
know him. It's just courteous.
It's common
Yeah.
courtesy, yeah.
Common courtesy. On the way back now, you know that you've had a situation with Grace now. You know you like her more. The feelings are
Yeah.
back. You know that also Samantha's going to talk to the girls.
Yeah.
So in that moment, Joey should have been like, I need to talk to Samantha just to make sure that she hears it from me directly. And I just feel like he copped out and he was,
Completely.
I was so upset watching it because
Yeah,
I
it
could just
was.
see Samantha getting more and more upset
Yeah.
and more in herself. And of course she's embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed as well. And then for Joey to come and be like, oh, let me be there for you. I'm sorry.
And then
you're the cure and the
kiss
cause.
Grace the same night in front of everyone. I feel like regardless of how Joey wants to say that, like, you know what, Samantha, you've not been giving me anything. You've been pushing me away. Regardless, I feel like he could have handled that situation a lot better. Yeah. I feel like even if he wanted to cut things off, he should have done it there and then. Yeah. He should have had a conversation and be like, look, maybe this isn't working. However you want to cut it off. But personally, I thought it was quite disrespectful for him to kiss Grace. Yeah. You've not touched Samantha in 2 weeks, mind you. Yeah.
That
you're
is
kissing
wild
Grace. You're suggesting sleeping over in the hideaway. All of these intimate things when all Samantha wanted from you from the start was just a bit of acknowledgement and a bit of attention.
A bit of physical touch.
You know, it's just something. And if you weren't on that, I feel like it doesn't take 2 weeks for you to know if you're feeling someone or not. The moment your feelings changed, you should have let her know about it.
He's putting everything on her. We've seen it in relationships, like in real life. It wasn't me, I wanted to make it work, but it was their decision. What a shame. And, you know, if you roll the tapes, Samantha has been saying for 2 weeks, one of the first chats they had was, I'm really big into PDAs, are you? And he was like, yeah, I'm massive PDA. And then a chat they had like 3 days later, they were like, she was like, well, you said you're into PDAs, but you haven't really given me anything. Oh yeah, no, we're just chilling, aren't we? She has tried and tried and tried. And the only reason she's backed off from him is because he hasn't been giving back to her. So the fact that he's now pushing that onto her is awful. Yeah. I can totally understand why she's upset because they're not tears of sadness, they're tears of rage. Yeah. Like if someone did this to you in real life, like nobody else really know about it. Like number one, you're in a villa full of your friends who have seen you get really excited that you're like getting to know this person. And then suddenly you're being humiliated by them kissing. And even worse than the kiss was the laughing while she was sat there crying. And plus, there's also millions of people watching on telly.
And to add the icing on the cake, she's not just a bombshell, she's his ex.
Yeah.
And they've got history. And as Samantha was saying, I can't compete with someone that you've got solid history with. You didn't end on bad terms. So where do I stand here?
Yeah. I think there's a part of Samantha that also knows that in real life, she wouldn't have held on for this long.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, all right? There is an element of him being Joey Essex. Like, we can't get away from that. Yeah. And I think in her mind, she knows any man that's not going to touch me in 2 weeks, it's a little bit leave it.
Yeah.
But she thought, do you know what? He's probably saying one thing, doing another. And she's thinking, well, actually, there's no one else I like in the villa. I'll try. Yeah. And I think, because the way she keeps saying I'm embarrassed is like when you act out of character, when you're not being true to yourself. The way Samantha is, she's so brazy and I feel like she's got energy for days. And I feel like normally a man would never. Yeah. And I think like in her mind, she's like, I'll let this slide. Yeah. Only to see his ex walk in. Oh. And that's why she went outside the first night. And like I said, I thought she was being dramatic on the first night. But now I'm thinking about all the things that have contributed to that moment. She's like, nah, do you know what? Yeah. I'm not doing this to myself.
It was her pride.
100%.
Yeah, her pride's her. And I feel like she's going to bounce back from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like minor setback, major comeback.
Yeah.
You know,
she's going to bounce back all the way to the final.
Yeah,
100%. I'm rooting for her now after seeing that. So.
Yeah. She's a gorgeous girl, man. Yeah. Like, she really is. She deserves better than this.
Personality as well. She is wicked.
And the accent, I'm sorry.
And the accent.
I think we've also just got to remember like what the villa is like. It's a pressure cooker. It's a very small environment. Feelings are heightened. So it's like, when do you ever find yourself in a situation when you're in a house for up to 8 weeks with strangers, you start fancying someone and then their ex walks in? Yeah. Like, what? You can't even leave to go and talk to your friends or anything like that. You've just got to sit here, suck it up and watch it happen and think, oh, you know what? I might get kicked to the curb, but I actually cannot do anything about this. Like,
or
it's tough.
You just go home.
You just go home, but you're going to fight through it. I think she will.
If she can get to the next few days, I think she'll be fine. Yeah. Like, it takes a strong person to do that. I didn't do it. I think Samantha could be really strong. And if she can just get through these next few days, I think she'll be golden.
I think she
I think it really depends with the girls around her as well. Yeah. Giving her the support and the guidance. Obviously, we're seeing Jess there, like, don't confront it. Just wait until you're stronger. Nah, let it out, man.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think so.
Just tackle it head on. Yeah. I think that's when it's really raw and authentic.
Agreed.
You know, you have the best conversation, but time will tell.
Now it's time for the best Sky Mobile me moments. This series has been full of Islanders embracing their me energy, and we've been obsessed. Let's count down the best moments so far where our Islanders have put themselves and their needs first. In third place, we have Jess knowing she's the prize.
Remember, I am the prize.
Know your worth, you are the prize. And second place goes to Mimi choosing to steal Io.
So the boy I've decided to steal is Io.
Yes, Mimi. And the current number one moment is Uma and Harriet talking about standing on business.
Like, think about what you want to do. That's what's best for yourself. Because I'm thinking about the way that I've looked at it is what's best for me, you know? And then stand on business.
Cheers to that, Queen.
Cheers to that, baby.
Personally, I'm here for that advice. Sky Mobile is a network that lets you to switch your phone and data plan to suit you. Switch to Sky Mobile today. So Will and Umar, they had some time away at the sleepover. Personally, I think it's really cute.
Same.
I think they suit each other really well. And I really like how Umar handled herself during the sleepover. She just got to know him. She wasn't ready for a kiss. And I think it was kind of good that she didn't kiss him because it kind of leaves space for her to still have those conversations with Omar if she still wants to get to know him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a nice time away for her. And it looked like, you know, they might have some sort of chemistry going on.
They had great chat. When she asked him if he liked the fact his eyes were blue.
Yeah, that was the best line ever.
And then she said, my eyes are just brown. I was gripped.
Yeah.
So I've seen conversations between Umar, Ayo, and Omar, and now Will.
Yeah.
And I would say Will and Umar have the best chemistry.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you could tell there's a real connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds. And bless Omar, I don't think he's gonna.
He might get
She was being
pushed.
sweet when she came back and she was like, she still wants to get to know him. But
Yeah.
also, we don't see what goes on 24/7.
Yes.
So I don't think that she would be keeping Omar around if she was so full on Will
100%,
and if she
yeah.
didn't like him.
Yeah.
They high-fived. There was a little bit of banter going
Yeah.
on there. Actually, more than I've seen with her and Ayo originally.
I agree. Yeah.
Or is
So-
it her safety
Nadia,
net?
she's a classy girl.
Yeah.
So she's going to handle it really well.
Yeah.
She get your textbook out and watch how she does it. Some of the boys can learn a thing or two. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
Yeah.
But the way she holds herself, confident, she backs it and she won't cut any corners.
Yeah.
Which is really admirable.
And I think as we can see from last night's episode, she's very straight to the point. Do you know what I mean? Like she's still letting Omar know, do you know what? I want to get to know you. It doesn't mean anything's cut off, but she's doing it the right way because I feel like if she was now kissing Will at the sleepover, that would have been a really awkward, hard conversation to try and say to Omar, look, I want to get to know you, but I have been kissing someone else. It's a bit
But also, she's very smart because Will likes other girls.
Yeah, she's not going to put all her eggs in his basket.
Yeah.
It'd be silly. She'd be silly too.
I loved
Yeah.
it when Will said, I'm not going to hoy all my eggs into her basket because obviously I was in the villa with Amber, who's also from Newcastle. And she used to say, they're going to hoy me out.
What does that
when-
mean?
It means throw a thing.
Okay.
They're going to hoy me out of here. So when he said, I'm not going to hoy all my eggs into her basket, I was like, oh my God, the ghost. Amber is here. But yeah, I really like Uma.
I think she's fun. I think she's a nice girl. I'm not really sure about the nicknames.
Yeah, nicknames ain't
But
for me.
everyone
What
has
was she
their
trying to
own.
call Will?
Yo.
Did you have one when you were in there?
Man.
I think it might have been.
Oh, my
Mum.
days.
Or Money
No.
Moo.
I was like, we'll stop that right
Yeah,
there.
man, that's not it.
I would have put you down as a Money Moo.
Money
Moo.
Yeah.
I can run with Money Moo.
Or a Money Bunny.
Money Bunny.
Yeah.
She loves the
the
nickname. Which is crazy. Her name's Uma and you can't really shorten that.
Maybe that's
But
why.
you know, it's a nice little way to approach people when you give them a
Yeah.
nickname straight away. It takes the edge off things a little bit,
I
doesn't
think
it?
whatever you're comfortable with, but I think that's how she bonds with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like you enough to give you a nickname.
Can't be
Someone
flinging them
just-
out with everyone though. Then
I was
they
going
start
to
feeling
say, some
special.
people
It's a
hate
magical
them.
way of a nickname.
You've
Oh no,
got
I was going to say some people hate them.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people
When
hate
I was
them.
flying, I was a bit of a Uma in that situation. So I'd be like someone called Derek. I'd be like, Deza, my man. Once I went to this woman, I was like, Donny. She was like, it's Dawn. Okay, I want to Donny again.
Lol.
Okay, so moving on, we've got Ronnie. Ronnie, I feel like he's been the man of the match for the past 2 episodes. He's got tings. Everyone wants a bit of Ronnie. I don't know what he's doing in there. Munveer, can you give us any tips and tricks? Like,
I
what
gave
is
him a
his career
nickname,
really about?
Ronnie Rondo.
Ronnie Rondo.
Do you know what a rondo is?
No.
It's when you get around in a circle and you pass a football around between each other.
There it is.
Do you know what? Fair play to him. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at this guy and I'm
Yeah.
like, how are you doing it?
Yeah.
He's got a lot of charm about him. Obviously, he's got the Cockney accent and
so
he carries himself well with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So that might be it. He's
Yeah.
had Jess, Harriet, now Tiffany.
Now Tiffany.
The thing is, Harriet's a bit upset about the whole thing, but
Why?
you lose them, how you win them?
This is it.
Ooh, tea.
Yeah,
You
there
lose them, how you
go.
get them.
Come on.
Tea.
Harriet, bless her heart, she genuinely was like, he can't be kissing. Hun, Ronnie is a man of few words.
Yeah.
He's going to be
All action.
lipsing, hun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how he tests the temperature of the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me
he's a
kiss
bit like,
first.
just have lips and then let's find out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just think he's having a great time.
Yeah.
Lads' holiday.
And that's what Sean said. He did say he was a little bit concerned whether he thinks Ronnie has a purpose. Is he here for love or is he here for a lad's holiday? What do we think? Because he's gone around a few girls now and I feel like he's
sigh
still...
was very deep.
It's like he's in a food court. You know when you walk around the food court and get all like the little samples
He's having a
first?
tapas.
He's putting it all in his basket. He's like, I'll have a bit of that, I'll have a bit of that. Personally, I'm not sure if he's there for a lad's holiday or actually genuinely trying to find a romantic connection. So far, it suggests maybe a lad's holiday. But with time, he might be a softie. He's definitely got that in him. So time will tell.
Yeah. Do we think maybe he's kind of like downplayed his attraction to Tiffany to Harriet? Because he did explain to her, we did have a kiss, but he made it out like it was, it wasn't anything, it was just like a little kiss and whatever. But from what we saw, it seemed like he was very much into Tiffany and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even say.
He's not going to be like Harriet, oh my gosh, Lipster was a banging. Best thing that ever happened to me. Love the sleepover. You're right though, let's go back to bed and have a cuddle. It's not going to benefit him telling anyone anything, really and truly. But also, I have a feeling that Ronnie is going to meet his match. At the moment, I feel like Tiffany and Ronnie are like here. Ronnie tends to be with the girls that like him more than he likes them. And I think Tiffany likes him less than he likes her.
Yeah.
So I think he's playing it cool because he's not sure that he can get Tiffany like how he's got the other two.
Yeah, so he's waiting a bit.
So he's biding his time. He can't afford to not have Harriet on side.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think she's placeholder babe.
Yeah.
But also, she can't really afford to not have Ronnie because there's nobody else she likes. But also, I feel like maybe she's a bit desensitized because, like you say, other people talk. Ronnie just kisses. That is how he communicates. So maybe that's why she's just like, okay, you kissed her. It's like someone else being like, I sat down and had a chat with her. You'd be like, okay, cool.
She wasn't even that upset.
No.
Like before, she was like, he better not have kissed. But then when he actually confessed, she was like, you know what? He was honest.
And then it was just like,
Look into my eyes, not around the eyes, not around the eyes.
Do you know what's happened this particular season? Like, everyone's lips in and it's almost like, this is how I'm getting to know them.
Yeah, it's just a kiss. There's nothing after the kiss. It's just their kissing.
Well quick, by the way. Mad quick. I couldn't keep up with it. I was like, a day in there is like a week, apparently.
Yeah, it is.
And he don't mess around. So Ronnie Rocket.
Ronnie is really necking all the babes. And
he's not allowed to holiday on a speed dating night that lasts 8 weeks. Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, I'll be interested to see where Ronnie ends up and who he ends up with. For some reason, I feel like he'll always come back around to Harriet. I don't know what
I agree. They give me like summer fling vibes, like they just can't leave each other alone. Yeah.
He said that to me as well.
Really?
When he compared Jess and Harriet, I'm giving you all the insight.
Love this.
Yeah,
Love that.
So when I spoke to Ronnie about it, he said, Jess is more like wife material, she's got nice things about her, the full package, more of a long-term thing. But there's just something with Harriet.
I mean, that's literally what we said, so we were right.
She feels a bit naughtier and he's attracted to that. Maybe that's what he wants.
I think he likes to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Do you
He
think
knows
him
what's
and
good
Jess
for him and what's not,
are
but
done
he'll
now?
still.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Now Tiffany's in the picture.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Harriet or Tiffany.
Yeah.
Jess has unfortunately fallen off the bottom. She's been placed
like
out
third
of
place.
the league table.
Well, Sean's there, and Sean's a great guy. So I think he just needs to change up.
I think
This
Tiffany
week's-
likes Sean though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Interesting.
Can you imagine if Ronnie lost out to Sean?
I would love that. Just a quick humbling. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, it's nice when the sweet boys come out on top. 'Cause I feel
Literally
like
the
Great
sweet
guy.
boy.
Sean has literally been himself. And it's not his fault. He's not, the bad boy. Like, he's just being his sweet self. And if it works for him, it works for him. And I feel like he deserves someone that can match his energy. And that is that. And it will come to him. It will come to him.
Just stay authentic, stay true to yourself.
Exactly.
It will happen.
So, guys, and on that note, that is the end of the morning after for this morning. Nadia, thank you for joining us today.
Guys.
And guys, Nadia will be joining us for the whole week.
Yeah.
Munveer, it's been a pleasure.
Can I join all week?
You know what? We'd love to have you back.
I've
We
been
would
doing
love
this.
to have you back. It's been a good
Thank you for having me.
debrief, good
Yes,
chat.
it's been lovely.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss an episode.
And make sure you spread the word to any of your Love Island fan friends and give us a 5-star rating because we will give you a 5-star show. See you guys.
Bye.